You're good to get started here, so, and no one is on Zoom.
Must have planted like 200
And we
like
have
that.
quorum,
Oh,
one,
sorry,
two,
very quiet.
3,
12.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, perfect. So we need to have a motion to start the public hearing.
So moved.
By Mark, seconded by Doug, sorry. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right, public hearing is open. I will see, what's that? No one on Zoom, perfect, thank you. Is there anyone out there, any specific questions? I mean, we can go through each article one by one, so anyone on, any questions on Article 2? Being none, we'll go on to Article 3. We're making it easy on us, Doug, so far. Article 4. Article 5. Article 6. Okay, this gets a little crazy. We're going to go to 30. Are there any questions from on any specific articles then, rather than just sit here and read through them all? Yeah? Thank you.
I'm Jen Karnakis. I live at 16 Rainbow Pond Drive. I'm an RTM for Precinct 3. I'm also the chair of the Historical Commission. I was wondering if I could ask, and you might not be the appropriate body, but you're the one I'm in front of, about Article 18. You may be aware that the Old Town House is subject to deed restrictions that were put in place by the Massachusetts Historical Commission. Has the Historical Commission been contacted about the potential that this building might be sold?
So we did ask those questions during the hearings.
Yeah.
And Jim, do you want to?
So not recently, they haven't been contacted. They did participate in the first round of, what was it, the 2019 study where we danced until 4 a.m., that study in the packet there. But this information's been out there for an extended amount of time, and no one from the Historical Commission has come forward within the last few years regarding this matter.
Specifically, this idea that it would be sold, not just the general idea of,
So to note,
Yeah.
this article is just for town meeting to authorize the select board to consider that idea and take it. So there's no offers to sell it or to buy it or do anything else at the moment.
okay.
It's more really to get the
I'll
feedback
go under
from the
that
town.
lead. I'll work on that, so. All right, I just, I feel like the community is not aware of this. I just want to, this is probably not I will make the same comments at town meeting on Monday as well. I feel like the community should have a bigger say in this. And I don't think the community is aware enough to tell their RTMs, or to come to this meeting to express their concerns, or have gone to select board meetings to talk about the potential and the concept of selling Old Town Hall, or even the East Walpole, I'm sorry, I'm focusing on the Old Town Hall, but I shouldn't be leaving out the East Walpole Library as well.
Yeah, no, there was a full discussion on that here. I think if I don't speak for the board, but if I speak incorrectly, please let me know. But, the vote for it was, all in favor, but a lot of the comments were that they're not necessarily in favor of selling the town hall, but they're in favor of having the discussion go to town meeting
Okay.
to open up from there. So I think if it was a vote to approve a sale, you might have had some nays on it, but the vote at the time was to have the discussion to go to town meeting.
And I would only add, from the select board's perspective, they're putting this out there because it's been studied by 3 professional companies. All 3 have said it needs extensive amounts of work. We've put it out to bid 2 times, once prior to COVID, once after COVID. 0 bidders each time. We've had a committee study this at length for a year plus.
18
Mark was on the
months.
committee. Everyone came back with the same findings. We've published this report online, all the reports online. We put it in the town meeting members' packets. The select board wants some direction from town meeting. The latest report says there's $8+ million that needs to be invested into that. We spend about, I think it's $30,000 a year in utilities we budget for that building. It's just being spent, the town nurse, Trish Fisher, she uses it for her clinics, and the emergency management department uses it as their offices. It's not really being put to good use. We're looking for some direction from town meeting. If town meeting says no, we're not interested in selling it, so be it. If town meeting does, there'll be much more public outreach. We'll have to do a reverse procurement on it, which means we have to advertise it in a local newspaper, advertise it online, put it out to the general public to see if anybody's interested in buying it. So there's going to be plenty of time. There has been, I would say that there has been plenty of time for the people, Historical Commission, whomever else to provide input. The Select Board has discussed this numerous times at public hearings, public meetings. This board's discussed it a few times. We've discussed it. It's been vetted.
And I've read a lot of these things, and I appreciate that it is on the website. I just am wondering why it went straight to, if you want to get the feel of town meeting, why it went straight to the potential of selling, and I'm focusing on selling, because that's the, again, I include all of the things, but instead of exploring the opportunity of, I went to the Economic Development Commission meeting on January 19th, and the tenor after hearing the presentation was much different than what it was at the Select Board meeting from February 28th. Why couldn't it have been, is the town willing to consider a partnership where we would, you know, he said the idea, I understand it's $8 million, but that we would put in some of the money, either through grants, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just curious why it went straight from what I would say 0 to 60.
I would disagree that it went straight to 0 to 60. We've vetted this with the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development, that agency, right? They offered a $1 million grant just before COVID. It went nowhere. We tried to go the grant route. We've tried to solicit, we've gotten local people who live and work in town to view that building. They've come in there, and people who live and work out of Walpole. We've had a couple breweries express interest, a restaurant, a preschool at one point wanted to go in there. Every person who's gone through their business or who wanted to open up something said, this is $1 million plus. And then when they started writing the numbers, they'd come back at Patrick and I and say, well, we might be up to $2 million now. So we've done our outreach on this one. It may not seem it to you, but we want to get a sense of town meeting. Do you want to continue to invest money into this building that we have no purpose for right now? If the answer is we want to vote it down, so be it. We'll continue on the path. The Select Board needs some direction and guidance from the legislative body, which is town meeting.
Okay, I don't have any further questions. I think we're having the same discussions on Monday, so I'll save my comments for that.
Mark,
Yeah, through Jim, even if town meeting authorizes the Select Board to potentially seek a sale on any of these properties, do the Select Board still have to come back if the sale price exceeds a certain threshold?
No,
No, that authorization's universal.
the authorization. I'll use the library, for example. That building sold in the after 2010, between 2010 and 2013 for $213,000. That was a very low, great bid, but the people who bought that building needed to invest a lot of money into it. I wouldn't speculate, but I would guess maybe about millions. They were the only bidder on that particular property. Only 2 people pulled bid packages on that, and the other bidder was from Needham, and he never submitted a bid. So.
Thanks.
great. Thank you so much.
Can I just jump in for a second? So I do want to just say, for the Peregrine Group, sorry, Jen. For the Peregrine Group who we hired most recently, their original scope wasn't necessarily to help us dispose of the building. We hired them with the idea of, they helped the town of Medfield, the Medfield State Hospital, and positioning, these unique properties for potential reuse. So when we were originally put in touch with the Peregrine Group from Compass, who had completed that report, to say like, hey, can you help us position this property for reuse? It is kind of a unique property. It's an old Civil War courthouse. And Jim was just alluding to this. Every time he kept coming back to us, well, if we're going to do it for this use, whether it's like entertainment or housing or office space, you're looking at, in order to make these viable spaces, what he considered as like these obstacles of entry, to the tune of $6 million, $7 million, $8 million. And that's when he came back to us. It's like, hey, we can continue this, but to have, feasibly speaking, you need to make these investments in order to make any of these use options feasible for anybody coming into the door. And that's kind of what landed us into the position we're in now.
Right.
So essentially, the town's at a crossroads to figure out, okay, is this a burden the town wants to pick up or not?
And just, again, there's nothing in the article about, it could be sold to a private entity, and there wouldn't be, there's no requirement that it has any public access or any portion that's available to the public. I think that would be a shame. But again, we'll talk about this on Monday, I'm sure.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that was Article 18. we have any other articles rather than just keep reading numbers? This is way too easy.
There must be a catch.
There's nothing more. Do we have a motion to
Motion
close
to
the public
close
hearing?
public hearing?
By Mark, seconded by Kathleen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That's the public hearing. Jim?
One order of business, since if the public hearing is closed.
Yep.
Jody reminded me today, we need authorization to,
For year-end transfers from the period May 1st through July 15th.
Okay.
so we were thinking, we don't have a meeting posted for Monday, and I expect town meeting to run 2 nights. Are you okay if we post a meeting for, say, 7 o'clock? Just, I think most of you are going to be there for town meeting, just to kind of, for the order of convenience, just post a meeting, get that authorization. That's the standard authorization that we've done the last several years.
Okay, just for the new members that aren't aware, so, and it's the first time I would do it, so it's a authorization to allow transfers up to, was it 5?
10,000.
$10,000? Guess it grew from when I first started years ago. For any transfers made between town meeting and the end in June 30th, right?
Anything over 10 would come, we'd ask the meeting to, the board, the committee to convene. We'd submit a request to the select board and this board for you to consider. Obviously, you probably need to meet with that department head and myself, and Jody and I will run through, explaining why we don't think we'd meet to the end of the year, be able to make it, but
Yeah.
anything over 10, we do that.
All right, so it would just be a
I
motion.
just wanted to point out that with the Modernization Act in 2017, Mass General Law has no limit now, but I know internally here in Walpole, we've always done the 5 and then increased to the 10.
Excellent, so, will we have most members going to be at town meeting?
Yeah.
No, you are. So I think we'll end up with a quorum there at least, so. Does anyone have an objection to this, just now, speak now?
So it'll be Wednesday at 7, so we can post the meeting?
So it's the second night, right?
Second
Because we don't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Perfect.
expect us to go 2 nights. If we don't, we'll figure it out. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll post another meeting. Yeah.
All right, wonderful.
Okay.
Anything else? I sent out minutes. I was unaware that some of the minutes had already been voted on. I apologize for that. I've done a bad job at tracking minutes this year, so. Anyhow, the ones that we don't have, maybe we can, then we can
Tack
add the
them to the
minutes to
agenda.
that night as well, just to review them. If you have comments or thoughts, just email them to me ahead of time, and we'll try to also get them updated before then. Then we can finish off as many meetings, as many meeting
Meeting minutes.
minutes on that night and get them done for this year. That would be great. Excellent. Any other new business from anyone?
Motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second?
Okay.
Kathleen? All in favor?
Happy birthday, Doug. This is his birthday present, a short meeting.
We motion.